Welcome, creative designer. Previously we talked about elements and principle of graphic design, and we were able to look at some graphic elements and how to combine these elements to form a design using the principle. We were able to see that principle are guideline that helps you position this element, not about drawing a shape, but you need to know where to position this shape. You need to know how to position your shape. Like I said something here, I don't know if, let me show you guys. I put down something here. System, what is this now? Okay, yeah. I said, for if you place a large single word on a page, then there are three conventional principles at work. Some are standing more than others. The first principle is direction. You need to direct your text when you want to place it. Is it by the right? Is it by the center? Is it by the left? Is it top? Is it center? Is it bottom? So you need to know where to direct a particular text, to direct a particular picture. And the second is the reading from left, right. Okay, the second principle, the thing is dominant, created by what ability to attract attention. What do you want to use to attract attention? Some people, let's assume I'm designing an advert design for Techno office, and their product is phone, iPhone and so on. So what am I going to use to attract customers? That's dominant. Is it words? Do they have a particular word that will stand out? Then you use that word, you make it bigger than others. Or is it a picture? You want to use a phone, you make that phone very big, 3D format, so that it will dominate other ones. It will call for attraction. When people are seeing this design, the first thing they're going to see is that particular picture you are putting there. And the second thing that will come in place is principle of proportion, created by what size in relation of the page itself. Do you want to make it like this and dominance, they work together? Do you want to make do you want it to be big? Do you want it to be small? What do you want to be big? What do you want to to reduce the size? So all these three things are very, very important, what you need to consider before you start designing. I'm saying this for those that for newbies, those that are just starting this field new. So today we're going to look at, what we're going to talk about is differences between Adobe Illustrator and Adobe Photoshop. What is Adobe Photoshop? You know, this is the program that we're going to, the main reason for this training is for us to understand graphic design. Second, for us to understand these programs, how to make use of Adobe Illustrator and how to make use of Photoshop. So you stick into any one that you want to. If you are using Adobe Illustrator without knowing Photoshop, you are missing, because there are lots in Photoshop. And if you are using CorelDRAW, you don't know anything about Photoshop, you are missing out. There's a lot to discover in Photoshop. And if you are using Photoshop without knowing Illustrator or CorelDRAW, you are missing out as well. There's a lot to discover. So Photoshop, I put down here that there are two types of image. There are two types of images, or there are two types of okay, let me call image rather. The first one is raster and the second one is vector. Now what is raster? Raster is what is let's say composed of pixels, what you can't edit. In CorelDRAW we call it bitmap, I believe. That's in CorelDRAW. I put down here some programs that create raster images, are also known as pixels or paint images, which are Photoshop, Mac Paint, PC Paintbrush, or Painter. All these programs, they help you to create, to retouch image, to work with image, to manipulate anyhow you want to. You want to cut your neck and so on. They work basically on images. And we have another one, vector. Vector, in other words, is called object-oriented art. A program like Illustrator, program like Freehand, program like MacDraw, program like Expression, and so on and so forth. There are many. We have Zara. There are many of them. And note, CorelDRAW has this feature of raster and vector. You can do raster, you can use CorelDRAW and manipulate and retouch your photos. You can use CorelDRAW to do that. CorelDRAW has this feature of raster and vector. And another program is Canvas. Canvas also have this feature of vector and raster. So now for us to really understand what this raster means, we need to note that is a pixel is known as pixels program. And what is pixels? That's what we're going to talk about now. I said that raster is a graphic consisting of a collection of dots or pixels. What is pixels? Say pixels is a square that is the smallest part of an image. A square that is the smallest part of an image. Now every digital image that you see online, you see on screen, you snap and the picture is very bad, is very nice. That means that camera has many pixels. In some cameras, if you are going to buy a phone that has a good camera, you see megapixel. Yeah, it has like thousands of pixels. Pixels are dots, single small dots that form something that form images. And vector is defined by scalable and mathematical outline, something that you can resize to make it very big without losing quality. It's still very sharp, it's still very bright. You can bend, you can curve, you can change the color, you can change the way it looks, you can twist it, distort it. That's vector. What you can is a scalable object, what you can scale very big without losing quality. So for us to understand the difference between this vector and pixels, let's jump into Photoshop and let me illustrate something here. Okay, assuming I want to draw a shape here. Let me draw any shape here, custom. Let me pick any shape. Okay, this. And from the types here, I'm going to change this to shape. I'll draw, there's no color. Let me fill color like red here. Okay, now don't forget that I choose object. Sorry, I choose shape here. Yeah, it was a shape that I choose from here, from the option. I choose shape. Now let's look at something. If I reduce this shape, reduce this shape and increase it again, it's still very okay. It doesn't lose its quality. This is an object, this is a vector. Now if I'm using pixel here, let's assume I'm using pixel here. Let me change it. I'm using pixel and draw it. Automatically it's going to fill with the foreground color that we have here. So I'm going to use the same color we have as red and draw it again. Okay, now let's watch something here. I'm going to reduce this size, make it very small and release it. Now if I increase this, you've seen it, it's very blurry, it's very bad. That means when you reduce this, pixel is not scalable. When you reduce it and increase the pixel, it will lose its quality. The same thing is applicable to logo design. If you are using Photoshop to design a logo, you need to use a vector program that you can scale to any size. If you want to take it to a website, you can. If you want to reduce it without losing quality. Now, the same thing, if you design a logo with Photoshop, you reduce the size, want to increase it, it will damage everything. But there's a way you can maintain your quality, the quality of the photo, or a quality of a pixel or a picture without losing quality. We're going to talk about that later. Okay, thank you. That will be that's what we're going to look at today. So in our next class, we're going to talk about In our next class, we're going to talk about the interface of Adobe Illustrator. We're going to look at how to get started with Adobe Illustrator, and please make sure you install Illustrator in your system. And see you guys in the next class. Right, thumbs up.